Kali Linux is a system that is especially designed for hacking. So if I go through this left top here, you'll see many hacking tools here like Burp Suite, Nmap, SQL Map, Hashcat, and John the Ripper, as well as others. So you'll see many hacking tools are included by default on Kali Linux. And in this system, Mimikatz is also included. So if you don't want to download it from a random site on the web, you can use the Kali Linux distribution. So if I type Mimikatz, press enter, you'll see by default it's included in this directory. So if I paste it, you'll see the 32-bit version and the 64-bit version are included by default in Kali Linux. So you'll see mimikatz.exe. Now this is a Linux system, so any exe file won't run, but of course you could copy whichever version you need to your target Windows computer. Now you can crack LM hashes on Windows as well, so not just on Windows systems, not just using Hacksnation. So let's say you have some hash, Windows hash, so an anti-LM hash that you got using Mimikatz, then you can also crack that using Kali Linux. And in Kali Linux there's a tool called John for that. So John is short for John the Ripper. You'll see I'm using version 1.9.0. It's by default included in Kali Linux. And it's a command line program, so as you see that we can type John and it will show you different options that you can specify. It's a completely terminal-based program. There is no GUI or graphical interface. Now, John the Ripper uses a word list. So, using word list of like millions of passwords, it will generate the hashes on all of them and see if the anti-LM hash compares to our anti-LM hash. Now, luckily, John the Ripper includes some word lists. In user share word lists, you'll see there's a file called rockyou.txt.gz. So we'll copy that into our home directory. Then right click, extract. And that will create a file called rockyou.txt. Now I'm not going to open it because it's 133 megabytes. So it's a list of like 40 million passwords that we can make John the Ripper use to crack our hash. So in order to start cracking, we'll type John, word list is rockyou.txt, and then our file. Now both of these are in the same directory. So I extracted it into the same directory. You'll see /home/kali, where I have the hash.txt containing this hash. So let me show you, it's the hash we have. And rockyou.txt is the password list. Now I'm not going to open that file, but I can show you part of that file. For example, the first 100 lines of rockyou.txt, and you'll see that it's just commonly used passwords. And this list is really huge. So I can show you it has 14 million passwords in this file. So it's a really large list of commonly used passwords. So that's what we'll use. So we'll specify that and then try to crack it. So let me move this to the side. And you'll see it didn't find the word list yet. So you'll see it tried cracking, but it didn't know which hash format to use. So obviously we're using Windows NT hashes, so NT-LM. And you'll see there we go. So this is the command to use to crack Windows hashes with your own word list. So in this case, I used rockyou.txt. Make sure to specify the format is NT if you want to crack Windows hashes on Kali Linux instead of on Hacksnation.net. So in this case, the hash.txt password is just password. So password hashed would be this. So using this command, let me just enlarge it a bit. So using this command, you can crack hashes on Windows. Now, one thing important is that you have those files in the directory. So you'll see I have rockq.txt in the home directory here, and hash.txt, which is a file containing the hash, also in here. Now, this one I copied from user share word lists. So that's user share word lists. That's where I copied rockq.txt from, and I copied that into the home directory. So again, that's user share word lists where this password list is stored. Now, on the internet you can find many more password lists, even larger than 14 million, but this is a nice first start. And for example, sometimes it can happen that inside Hacksnation it cannot find the right password, so then you can start using your own word lists and see if you can crack it that way. So John the Ripper is an alternative way to crack passwords, to crack Windows passwords. Now, one thing to note is that most of the times you'll be able to use Hacksnation.net, which is obviously easier because you just paste the hash. But using Hacksnation using John the Ripper on Kali Linux is also a possibility.